Hey guys, this is Matt with BleepinJeep.com. In our last video we installed this bumper from JCR Off-Road onto this TJ, and today we're going to install the Shield tire carrier. Now they make all kinds of stuff for CJs, TJs, YJs, JKs, anything you can think of that's Jeep related they make it, so check them out, JCROffroad.com. Also subscribe right here to my YouTube channel, BleepinJeep. Let's get started. Alright guys, here's all the parts to do the job. Now before you laugh at me too much for screwing everything up, I don't have any instructions because that's how I roll, but we're going to get this figured out. Let's start off by removing the stock tire carrier. I think that's a 13mm or so. Holy crap, it's glued on there. There we go, wasn't too bad. Alright, now we need to put this piece on. I'm assuming it goes right there because the holes seem to line up. Need to get this off. I guess that looks like an Allen in there, I can't see. Yeah. There we go. Huh. Alright, let's put this thing on using the stock hardware. Now that I can see that bolt, I realize that's a Torx and not an Allen. Okay guys, now we're going to take this giant spindle, we're going to put the large end down, we're going to install it into the bumper. Now if there's a lot of paint buildup or something on there, you can kind of sand that. You want it just to fall in. Seems pretty good. Now put this on the bottom. Alright guys, that bolt is 1 1/8 inch, but I don't have a socket or a wrench anywhere near that big, so let's see if I can use a crescent wrench. I guess that's my next thing on my list to purchase. There we go, that'll do it. Alright guys, now let's turn this thing over for the next step here. Alright, next we're going to pack these bearings with some grease. The way to do that is you're going to take some grease in the palm of your hand, like this. Now you're going to take the bearings and you're going to whack them like this. You're going to go all the way around until grease starts coming up through the top. Alright guys, once you get enough grease on there, cover the rest, and then we're going to put that face down into here. Okay guys, now we're going to take the seal and we're going to knock it in very gently. Remember, this is the bottom because we flipped this whole thing over. So put the seal in there. I like to use a little rod stop, some solid bar. Work your way around. Whoop. Alright, that's been there pretty good. Now let's get a little finger of grease here and we're going to put that on the inside of that seal. Alright guys, it's time to take that nut and washer off. Now we're going to put the tire carrier on there. It's going to be a tight squeeze here. I'm not sure if it's actually going to fit because these are some aftermarket hinges which seem to stick out a little bit further, but let's check it out. Alright guys, now grab your other bearing and we're going to put that taper side down into there. There we go. And now we can put that washer and then the nut back on. Now that's a 1.5 inch nut. Once again, I don't have a socket that big, and my crescent wrench is actually too small to even fit on there. So I'm just going to tighten that by hand for now until I can get to the store and get something to fit on there. But make sure you tighten that sucker down. Okay, now make sure your O-ring is on this aluminum piece, and we're just going to put that on top and screw it down. And that actually comes with the wrench that's provided. Okay, and like I thought, this is an aftermarket hinge here. It's a little bit bigger than normal, and there's a slight clearance issue, but I'm just going to take that, grind that back a little bit, and it should clear just fine. Alright guys, now let's install this thing. This is a pivot between the tailgate and the tire carrier. Now remember, one is going to be reverse thread, which is this side, and the other side should be regular thread. Alright, so you want to center those up, that way when you're adjusting it, it'll be even on both sides. And then we're going to install this with these spacers. It looks like those go like this, and then go between the mounts up there. Alright, so let's put the bolt, spacer, this thing, and then another spacer under there. Other way. Ooh. And then the nut on bottom. You know what I forgot to do? Now I feel like an idiot. I forgot to install these jam nuts on here. Not going to work real good without that. There we go, much better. Now those jam nuts will be used to lock this down once we get it in the proper adjustment. Alright, now we'll just install this side the same way on the swing out here. Alright, sweet. Check it out. Now we just need to tighten this down until it hits one of these bump stops back here. And then we've got another bump stop that we're going to add. Alright guys, it's pretty tight right there, but it's not quite tight enough. So what we're going to do is open it up, then I can just tighten it a few more, and then when you slam it, it should be a lot tighter. Alright, now I'm going to put this JCR bump stop on there. It's the same process. Just put it in here, there's a hole back here, and then we're going to open and close it a bunch of times until we get the right tension. So if we need to tighten it, we can just tighten that down a little bit. That should be perfect right there. Now I'll put the nuts on the back here. Now if you needed to move that out, they have provided some washers as spacers too. And that might come into play later on when we put the tire on. Maybe the tire might hit the back, then we can move this out just a little bit using those spacers if we need to. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is measure to the center of the wheel with the tire on it. So this one is about 15.5 inches to the middle there. Alright, so now I'll take this piece. We're going to measure 15.5 from the bottom of the bumper, or the top of the bumper. And let's see, that's about 15.5 right there. But I want to go up one more to give us a little bit of clearance, because once we mount the tire, we want it to be just above the bottom of this, or the top of this bumper here. Alright, so now just put some washers and your bolts in. We'll put the nuts on the back here. If you open the door up, it's a lot easier to put your hand back behind here as well. Alright guys, so the next piece is this one. There's a couple different options depending on your bolt pattern. This one happens to be 5 on 5, I believe. And so we're just going to install this loosely for right now, and then we're going to figure out the wheel back spacing before we attach this permanently. Take your wheel, lay something flat across it like this, and then we're just going to take that measurement. This one is about 6.5, and that's how we want to set up that piece over there. Okay, so we were at 6.5, so I probably ought to give just a little bit of clearance for so it doesn't squish up here too tight, although it might be nice to have it press up against here. I'm not sure, but for now I'm going to go just 1/8 inch past 6.5. So 6 5/8. Alright, now let's tighten this top bolt down first to suck it up into place. Well, I guess it would help if I marked it since that's moving on me. And now we'll tighten the side bolts down. Alright, now if I measured correctly, the tire should fit on there perfectly. Now, before I do that though, let's have a look at it without the tire. What I really like is the way that pivots out with the door, so it's not on a separate hinge or anything. Well, it is on a separate hinge, but it still works with the door. Now let's see if I can throw my back out. Oh. Come on. Where is it? Oh. Whew. Alright, looks like I got that measurement perfect. It squeezes up against the tire just a little bit to hold everything nice and steady, and that's just the way I wanted it. It is, though, pulling down a little bit now, so I need to go ahead and tighten this up just a little more than it was. That's perfect right there. So now that I've got it just where I want it, I can open it up all the way to give me some room here, and I can tighten up these jam nuts. That'll keep it in that same spot. Oh, check it out, guys. This is the Shield tire carrier installed. Like I was saying, that's the end of the Shield tire carrier install from JCR Off-Road. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give us a thumbs up if you did. Check out JCR Off-Road's website at jcroffroad.com for this and much more, and my website at BleepinJeep.com. And we'll see you next time.